that entails to
Oh,
protect
hey, what's going on,
the next
guys?
leader of the free world.
We're going
And
to
Gail, there
watch
is,
Biden
while there is
and
disappointment among President
Kamala
Trump's supporters
fucking
and Republicans, there is
layeth
also a
down
sense of euphoria
the
in this
smacketh
country.
downeth nith
I call it unbridled
sniff.
exuberance. It's
That's all I
like,
got.
Nora,
It's been a hell of a day. I am memed out. I think I'm officially memed out. I don't know about you guys, but I think that the second biggest winner of this entire week are people who like memes and make memes, just meme enthusiasts. I've seen some amazing shit. If you haven't caught the ones I've been posting, hit my Instagram at Santino the Misfit and check my story. This shit has been fucking hilarious. The Count punching him, art, magnifico, absolutely wonderful. It's fucking hot in here, man. Yeah, so I'm curious if anyone else has noticed there's a handful of really loud people and then a whole lot of silence elsewhere from people who typically were pretty loud. It's been quite a sight, quite a change of pace. I'm feeling good about it. But I'm not going to, I've offered up a lot of my opinions on everything already last night on Failure Made Monsters. I'm not going to go nuts. I don't know, felt like, fuck it, let's just pop on here real quick to watch this when he comes on, because it's a big moment and it's exciting. Granted, there's a lot of work to be done still, even after this. This is great that, it's amazing that Biden, is projected to win as it stands right now. Obviously, this is going to be a fucking messy situation with the way Trump is gearing up to go after the results and try to contest them in whatever ways he can. But that's not the only thing we have to worry about. Is right now we don't have the Senate. It looks like we're going to keep the House. That's good, but we don't have the Senate, so we have to fucking try and make sure we dump as much support into the Georgia runoffs for Warnock and Asaf. I think that's on January 5th. So, yeah, keep an eye out on those. It looks like those are going to go to runoff as they stand too. But let's check in the news broadcast here and see what the fuck's going on.
Challenges are huge for Joe Biden.
They are tremendous, and if we've tallied
Let me know what the
up,
levels are like for you guys too.
units,
If anything's
sort of
too quiet or
day one
louder, whatever.
promises that he's made, things like rejoining the World Health Organization, rescinding the president's Muslim ban, rejoining the Paris Climate Accord, sending a bill to Congress to make Dreamers citizens, and an executive order to find the parents of those 545 separated children. Also call world leaders on day one. I mean, it is a tremendous day one. You can only imagine how the first few weeks will go. And it is something that his team has been thinking about and will turn all of its attention to now in the coming days.
And just getting back into the Paris Climate Accord is fucking huge. That alone does it for me, man.
Because you'll see all the things that are there that you didn't even know about.
That's such a big thing. That's a great day
we are
one
going to be hearing
list
from
item.
the president-elect and his running mate very shortly.
By the way, if you don't
Let's check in
already,
with
please
Nicole
follow me
Killian.
on
She's
Twitch
there
at Santino the
Chase
Misfit.
Center in
See that on the top
Wilmington.
left of the screen,
Nicole, tell us
and
about the
it's easier
move.
to
Tell
chat
us
in there.
about
I
what
can
we expect
respond
to
to you
hear.
when I do
Well,
these
Nora,
streams.
as you can probably hear behind me, it is a very exuberant and party-like atmosphere as we await President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. We expect Biden to echo many of the themes we have heard from him throughout the campaign and really focus on trying to bring the country together. And that is a message that many people I talk to here say they want to hear tonight, especially after they feel they have lived through 4 years of division. Before his speech tonight, we know the president-elect spent a good part of the day with his family. His granddaughter Naomi tweeted out a picture of him hugging all of his grandkids not long after the race had been called in a campaign aide.
Yo, just real quick, has anyone ever seen Trump hug any of his kids, or vice versa, or his wife? I mean, maybe Melania. But like, I feel like I have a hard time summoning the existing visual of Trump and his family showing each other affection. That's just a random observation. I don't mean that with any actual malice. I genuinely can't think of an instance.
Announcements expected in the days and weeks to come. Nora?
Nicole,
Also, one other
Killian,
thing to be
there you
excited about,
see
there's going to be a
that
dog in the
large
White House again.
gathering to listen
A rescue
to
too,
the
I think.
president-elect, his motorcade
He's huge.
arriving there at the Chase Center, which means
Big,
we are
handsome
just
bastard.
moments away from hearing first from the Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, who will then introduce the president-elect.
We should point out something there, that if you see towards the front near where he will speak, there's several
Shit,
red,
I
white,
left my
and blue
drink somewhere.
vehicles that the Biden campaign actually placed there
That's
for some of their
unacceptable.
top supporters. This whole scene is indicative of the kind of rallies he's been holding across the country, socially distanced rallies that encourage people to stay in or near their vehicles. We'll see how well they do with that tonight. They are encouraged to wear masks, and you can see that there's a larger this is a larger crowd than was there for the convention in August.
Rescue
They held
pup,
it in
yeah,
the same
Nicole.
parking lot here.
He is,
Outside a
right?
convention center that probably
awesome.
hosts RV shows and garden expos, and it is now
And that wasn't like a
going to be the
publicity
center
thing
of a
either.
very
Anyone who fucking
important
thinks
speech
that
watched by
says
the
that.
entire world.
It's
And
just-
Wilmington, Delaware,
Look it up.
a city better known for
just
call
did it.
centers and tax attorneys, is
It's
about
awesome.
to join the American imagination alongside Crawford, Texas, Mar-a-Lago, Kennebunkport, because he's lived here his entire political career. He took the 124-mile train ride to and from his home there every day, now to a train station with his name on it, in a state that has its largest rest stop named for him as well. They like their Joe Biden in Delaware. They like him even more tonight.
Yo, I need a
It's
train
always nice to have
station
a rest
named
stop
after me.
It's on my bucket list. It is.
Make that shit happen.
Democrat or Republican. The other thing that I noticed about today, guys, is that the weather was so beautiful. Here it is November. It's
God, I'm
unseasonably
bored of
warm
this.
on
Get to the
on this
speech.
side of the country.
They're never on time.
Sometimes during the campaign, you saw people all bundled up in
Oh,
coats.
fuck.
But I can't
Thanks
get
for
over
sticking
how
with me if
warm-
you're
it's
still
almost
in
like
here.
Mother Nature
I know you
was
just wanna watch
cooperating
this, and then
on
I'm
this
gonna
day for all the people
probably
to
not
be
gonna
out.
stay
And I'm
on much
looking at the
after
night, this night video here. People are outside of their cars. You're right, Ed. We'll see how long that lasts, the social distancing. But people,
Anyone
you
seen
can
the fucking,
feel the energy in the
people
Joe Biden
partying in West
people
Hollywood,
who are
too?
supporting Joe Biden.
And
Going
President
off,
Trump
man.
himself had a chance to see
pretty
those
awesome.
people.
I know,
as he
my wife
was
and I fucking
riding his
screamed as soon as I
motorcade
woke up
back
and
from
saw
his
that-
golf
saw that
game
news.
in Sterling,
Straight up
Virginia.
yelled, like,
He actually rode
fucking
past
full
the
on
crowds who made a variety of hand signals as
celebratory
he
yelping.
drove by. So
A
we've got
variety of hand
a
signals.
variety of hand signals.
What did you do?
Waving. They were waving.
What did
he looked
I gotta
out the
say though,
window.
I mean, you know, it's great that people are out
he looked a
celebrating and shit, and I
little
have seen a
stricken in the pictures
vast
that we
majority of
saw
them
him
wearing
gazing
masks, but
out the window,
y'all
really
giving the
sort of
fucking,
being confronted
y'all giving the
by
opposition
the
here,
jubilation we saw in Washington,
the
D.C., which
opposition,
of
but
course
you're
is
giving the conservative
a city that went for
pundits
Joe Biden
a shit ton of
something like
ammunition
93 to
here.
6.
Traditionally,
you know, I
at
know
a
it's not the
moment
same
like this, every
as
4 years, the
going to the gym or some
president-elect
shit, but
has heard from
still.
their running mate, a phone call that is placed
This
to
isn't
say
as bad.
congratulations on a hard-fought race, and I look forward to helping you in any way possible. That has happened
I hope
in
so
the
too,
past when
Nicole.
even incumbent presidents have lost to
I hope so, too.
challengers. Let's check in with CBS's
I-
Weijia Zhang,
I mean,
who is
you know,
at the
it's-
White House, and
It's still
Weijia,
Americans,
any
still people.
indication
I
that
know
President Trump
I
has
jump down
called
motherfuckers'
Joe
throats
Biden?
sometimes, but it's not impossible to stay friendly with somebody you disagree with politically. It never was. I have people who are super close to me, family, friends, and shit that could not be further away from me politically. We still go out and have a drink, still have normal conversations and engagements, and talk about all the other shit. And then obviously we'll talk about that too, because I can't help myself, and half the time neither can they. But it's doable, you know. It's just some people can't be like you can't. It just doesn't help when some of these motherfuckers call you like a demon rat. Like, that's no way to find middle ground, you know. Some people need to step towards the fucking center of this shit a little bit more, and that's the one thing you'll hear half the time. Like for a large majority of the criticisms I've made have been towards like Trump and the administration and the policies and that bullshit, and then a handful of outspoken, but never just like not all Trump supporters. Like I've made those criticisms, but it's not like the primary thing. Whereas on the reverse of that, you hear so much criticisms just towards the people who support Biden, like libtards and demon rats, blah blah blah. Like I don't even, other than Trumpers, I can't even like think of a similar version of that. You know. Anyway.
His successor to the White House to meet before inauguration, which is a tradition. Now, we should mention we have not heard from the White House Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, at all today because we have learned he
fucking
tested
coronavirus.
positive
That's why.
for COVID-19, along with
Probably why we haven't seen Bill Barr
either.
either.
And a campaign
These motherfuckers
aide.
are trying to tell us they can keep the country
president
safe. They can't even
has
keep
not
the
talked
White House
about
safe
the
from
spike we are seeing
coronavirus.
across the country, or what he plans
Stop.
to do about it, Nora, as he is inside the White House, very likely watching to see what Joe Biden is about to say.
Hell yeah, he is.
Thank you, Weijia Zhang. Incredible to think about what is transpiring, the historical significance of that, and also that the president's own chief of staff is now suffering from coronavirus after being out on the campaign trail with him and also holding a reception at the White House when it is believed he may have been infectious with COVID-19. Let's go.
You mean
now
you
to
had a
CBS's
giant
Jeff Pegues. He is
congregation
with
of
the
people
crowds at
multiple
Black Lives
times in
Matter
different
Plaza
areas
near the
without
White House, where I
masks and social
understand, Jeff,
distancing,
they're
and you
singing.
got sick during a pandemic?
They are singing, despite the mask. All the talk, obviously, about COVID-19. This is a huge celebration out here.
It's not going to be much better in these situations either. But at least look at this, like, masks everywhere,
and
they're outside.
Message to the
which
current
helps.
president. If you look up here, you see this eviction
Still,
notice.
that shit ain't. That's
This
not
group
socially
wants to make
distanced,
sure
but
that he sees that. You have thousands of people here. There are police officers.
I gotta say
here
one thing too. People, stop touching your masks so damn much, and then like touching your face and your eyes and stuff. That's like mask 101. Stop doing it. And obviously wear it over your nose. Like, come on.
You have a celebration that stretches farther down the street. And perhaps you can make out the White House down the block. It's about 3 blocks away. The people in this crowd, they want to make sure that the president doesn't get any sleep tonight. We hear singing, we hear drums, we hear fireworks. Nora.
Sounds like
I
downtown
get
LA.
Stevie Wonder too, Jeff Pegues. I hear that. But when I look at that Black Lives Matter plaza, it reminds me again about John Lewis. I talked to someone who was with John Lewis when he passed away. And he said it's a bittersweet day because this is what John Lewis wanted more than anything, to see Donald Trump out of the White House. He did not think that this president
Lewis
deserved
and
the office. He felt that he brought great disrespect
old
to
Ruth
the office. He said in some
didn't
ways
get
it
to live
feels
to
very
see this day.
bittersweet.
That's a shame.
He said, you know, it hit him today that John Lewis's death became a galvanizing moment for many people who registered to vote. When John Lewis encouraged people, please register to vote. We've got to do something about Donald Trump in the White House. He said, so to see this come on this particular day means everything to people who loved and cared about John Lewis.
John Lewis embodied not only in his actions and in his nonviolent protests, something that he wrote in that New York Times op-ed
Grab my
that was
drink real
published
quick.
after his death when he said the vote is the most powerful nonviolent change agent you have in a democratic society. Also him making the case democracy is not a state, it is an act. And the best way to engage in democracy is your vote. And what we saw in this year, 2020, which has been the most difficult year for so many Americans, this unbridled optimism about democracy.
That's not the one I was looking for, but I'll
power
take
of
it.
their vote, and what we have is more Americans voting than ever before in a presidential election.
On
the
both
tally
sides.
now, yes,
On both
almost
sides.
145 million, whether by mail-in ballot
Which
or
is
even
that's
at the
insane,
polls
by
in
the
order
way.
to
About half, like,
exercise
almost
that really
half the
unique role that
population
we have
voted.
as Americans.
That's
a lot
crazy.
Of them voted because they were afraid of what
That's
Joe Biden
crazy.
was going to bring to the White House, and we see
And
all
the
of
fact
these
that Biden
celebrations.
broke the
There are a
record
lot of
for
people
most votes
who are
cast for a
nervous
president
and who
ever
are
is
as
impre-
nervous
that's
as
fucking
many
incredible.
of the people celebrating tonight.
Still
felt
wasn't
in
a big enough
2016.
victory, and we talked about
And
that
it is
last
a
night. If you want to
big
hear me
challenge for
go on a
the
fucking
Vice President
tangent,
and for
go
all
on there. It's a good
Democratic
day. I'm not going to
lawmakers
try and
to
muddy
embrace
it
the
with
celebration and all the reason they're happy,
any
but recognize that
of
we
my
have had a
grievances
back and
tonight.
forth in American life where the celebrations of one side have set in the feelings of the other. And
But
that's
at least
one of
the
new
difference,
challenges
John,
of
at least the difference here is the President-elect Joe Biden is letting that side know, I want to work with you. I'm going to be your president too, and I want us to be united. That's not something that people got in 2016. He is extending the hand. What
Sure,
can
well,
you
there's
do?
no question, but,
Yeah.
but it exists,
Yeah.
and it's not something
Yeah.
you can just cure with a speech.
Yeah, that's right.
And what you see are some fireworks in Washington over Black Lives Matter Plaza. Tonight's going to be full of fireworks, not only
Whole
in
country,
Washington
man, yeah.
there, but also in Wilmington, Delaware, after we hear
Thank you.
from Vice President-elect Kamala Harris,
you.
who will
I hear you coming.
introduce the president-elect, and that is coming just moments from
buddy.
now. And of course, we
Appreciate
will bring
it.
that to you live. Want to bring in CBS's Mola Lenghi because
Cheers.
he is at Washington Square Park in the heart of New York's
Oh, that's so much
Greenwich
better than
Village.
water.
And Mola, set the scenes there.
Well, Nora, obviously, from the moment the news broke today, people flooded the streets here in New York.
Man, this is
began
going to take a
celebrating, and
fucking
they've been
while,
going
isn't
at
it?
Really
It's
ever
scheduled
since, as you can
for
see here in
5 my
Washington Square
time,
Park.
8
Folks
Eastern
filled,
Standard Time. But
this park here, I overheard one woman
I don't know what I
tell
was
another woman,
expecting.
2020 needed this. 2020 needed this, is what she said. And that might give you a sense of just how so many of these folks feel. We're seeing signs, we're seeing shirts, that say things like dump Trump or out now, you know, which might be an interesting illustration of something interesting that we're seeing and we're hearing. A lot of what we're hearing out here, the chanting, the yelling, the singing, the screaming, has just as much to do with people who are excited about the fact that Donald Trump will no longer be president, as much as the prospect of a Joe Biden administration. I asked 30 people here over the last hour. 16 of them told me they were just happy that Donald Trump was out. 14 told me it was a combination of the two, and 2 people said they were out here celebrating the fact that Joe Biden.
Yeah, because Joe Biden's the most boring fucking Democratic candidate to run for office in
very liberal
my lifetime.
City, but it gives you an idea of what is animating a lot
Purely
of the excitement here
the
in
centrist,
New York City.
middle of the fucking road,
Mullengy,
vanilla ass
thank you,
fucking
with
option.
the crowds here in New York
just
City
so we
as
didn't
show
scare
you
anybody
the
away
crowds in
against Trump.
Wilmington,
That's why the fucking
Delaware,
Dems ran his ass.
and that have turned out
That's
in
not
their
news.
cars to listen to the president-elect.
Carrie, you wish you
and
could be
the
in
vice
Wilmington right now?
president-elect
Yeah.
in their remarks in this historic night. We will not only have the oldest
gonna
president
be-
in American history. Joe Biden will be 78
nuts.
when he takes the office. But as Nancy mentioned
I'm surprised
earlier,
it's as
the
quiet
first
as it is
woman
in downtown
ever
LA right now.
to be
At
vice
least
president
by,
of the United
by,
States, the
you
first
know,
black, the
where
first
I've been,
Indian, and the first daughter of immigrants, which resonates with so
yeah,
many
not-
Americans as
not as crazy.
the
I know
children of
WeHo
immigrants
was-
who have come to this
was going
country. And
off
at the
earlier.
same time, we should acknowledge those
Shit, I've heard
who,
fireworks here for
may have a sense
fuck
of
that.
trepidation
When
who
the
did not
Lakers
vote
won and then
for
when the
Joe
Dodgers
Biden and
won, it
Kamala
was
Harris, that voted for
the fucking world was
Trump
ending
Pence
outside.
ticket, and yet this is a president-elect who has signaled in every single one of his remarks this week that he wants to be not the president of the blue states or the red states, but of the United States of America. And that's the task. In many ways, he has already written what will be the success of his legacy. Can he help try and heal this country?
And Gail talked about his hand being extended. So far, the hand is not being accepted on Capitol Hill. We've heard from just 6 House Republicans so far today congratulating the president-elect, 1 Senate Republican. Obviously, they are
Was it Mitch McConnell?
It was not. Total silence from Mitch McConnell and
Does that
his aides
surprise you,
today.
Nancy, that we haven't heard from Mitch McConnell?
It does
Would set
surprise
such
me,
a tone,
actually,
wouldn't it?
because
if
it
he
is
said
now-
Fucking
it's
the
now
silent
been,
turtle.
Half a day.
By the way, I don't know if
and we
anybody
haven't
saw
heard
this
anything
before,
from him.
but
And I just wanna
Andrew
contrast
Yang,
this to what we
Andrew
heard
Yang was
4
on
years ago
CNN with
from
Anderson
Hillary
Cooper
Clinton,
and started
who
cracking
had a
up and
big
laughing and
surprise loss.
complimented
And within 12
Anderson's
hours, she gave a
obese
concession
turtle
speech in
remark,
she
which
said, "We
please
must
go
accept
watch,
this
go
result
find that
and then
clip.
look to the
It's
future. Donald Trump is going
amazing.
to be
With
our
news
president.
porn.
We owe him an
But
open mind and the
Anderson
chance
later
to
was like,
lead.
yeah, he goes, I
And then,
don't,
of
that's not the
course,
person I want to be, and
devastated
kind of like,
Democrats took their
even while
cues
he's
from her,
smiling, he's like,
and
yeah,
they
you know, I regret that
congratulated
decision
Donald
and shit.
Trump
And,
as well,
and
because
Yang
they
just
had that
starts laughing,
conversation
like, yeah, all
that
right,
you've
dude.
described so eloquently.
You fucking know you
This time
love the
around,
fact that you said that
Republicans
on
are taking
air.
their cue from their
Legend.
leader, Donald Trump, and what he's saying is that he thinks that this election was a fraud.
Of course
that
he's
he thinks
saying that.
these
He said
votes
he
were
was gonna say that.
illegitimate, which, by the way,
He's
is something
saying
he
it
has
for
said
months.
multiple
Before
times in the
fucking
past,
people
not
were even
just
voting.
in his election against Hillary
If I
Clinton,
lose,
but even in
fraudulent.
primary states that he lost.
Fuck outta here.
After the Iowa caucuses, when he lost to Ted Cruz.
Actually,
he said
speaking
the
of
election was a
legends,
fraud.
I'm gonna put this off to the side for a second while we're waiting for Biden to come out. Let me see if I can bring this up real quick. I don't know if anybody's seen this clip yet. But speaking of legends on the news, check this shit out.
President. We're doing is, we're looking, I know about. Buzz off. So here's the state.
I mean, it turns out he may have said buzz off, but man, I enjoyed the shit out of that clip for at least a solid hour or two before I found that out. That was pretty fucking funny. So, just thought I'd share that with you. Another legend in the news this week. Let me just catch up here. Ah, fuck. Here we go.
360 cars are here. Many of them red, white, and blue American-made Jeeps. It looks like
Speeding it
thousands
up
in
just to
attendance.
catch up to the
Everyone's
actual
been encouraged
live
to wear masks. Everyone has been encouraged to
broadcast.
keep their social distances. We can see there's some of that going on. And they handed out the American flags earlier today. Thousands have descended on the place throughout the day to catch a glimpse of this from beyond the security barrier. And the stage has been set essentially since last weekend.
There we go.
When they began putting it up, hoping that he would be able to address the world early Wednesday morning. And he's had to wait until tonight.
What
I
up,
mean, for
Lather?
anybody who's been
How you
to
doing,
a
brother?
football game, it
Part
looks
of the
kinda
deal.
like a tailgate
Yes.
party in many ways. Outside, as people
Amazing.
have brought their cars in. Very different than most nights like this that we usually see every 4 years, where you have a number of crowds packed in, and they are trying to do this in a celebratory way. Although I see people with their masks pulled down on their cheeks, but outside and in the warm weather.
And many of these people, like us, have been on call all week. They live in and around Wilmington, and they were ready to go at a moment's notice.
But we're not complaining about being on call.
We're not, no.
We like being on call for this story.
This has been riveting. But
Yeah.
for these folks, it's been a little stressful because they were told they would likely get a little bit of an advance notice to show up if it was announced Thursday night or Friday.
All right, fuck this. I'm just gonna show you another one of these hilarious ass videos I found earlier. Let's make you laugh a little bit in between, shall we? I don't know if anyone's seen this fucking gem that Jeremy Piven shared.
Right here. You have to go by where, look.
Great work. See if you can read this. You're fired. And in case your ears are fucked, get the fuck out!
Right here.
It's so fucking good. It's so good. Whoever edited that too actually did a decent job carrying the music through the whole thing and all that so that it felt cohesive. I love it. I fucking love it.
Your reaction, I know you were in your high-rise building here in New York City. What happened?
Damn, okay, Times Square.
That something was going on.
Fucking New Year's Eve.
Our window was open, and so we started hearing all this yelling and clapping and banging on pots and pans. And when we realized, you know, Biden has been elected, we both just started crying and we hugged each other.
Overall, I think it's been such a stressful, you know, not to mention such a couple of months and years, but these past few days have just been that much more so. So it was.
I did not expect
a
that
great
voice
sign
out of that
relief
man.
Once we realized that it's beginning to change the corner, the nation itself could begin to heal, God willing, and
Not good with COVID, but at least they had masks. Yeah, I know. As I was saying before you popped in here,
do you believe that Joe
and you can
Biden will
see
be
the
able to
new,
bring
you know, the
about a
anchors.
healing in the country?
They're trying to skirt around that and kind of make it seem like, well, at least everybody's wearing masks, and outside of where Biden's going to talk, there's a lot of people. There's mostly like a drive-up situation, and there's a lot more separation there. And then you even heard her before kind of be like, yeah, well, it's, you know, it's warm and they're outside and they're mostly wearing masks, and they really are. I mean, the majority, except for fucking beard guy there. But yeah, that's pretty impressive, because if you look at any of the fucking footage that's been coming out of these Trump protests and whatnot, no mask in sight, dude. Just people yelling and carrying long guns and saying this is all a fraud. Zero evidence to prove it.
VJ Day in Times Square. There's that famous photograph.
I'm hoping he comes on soon.
There are people who
I got ramen on the way.
A kind of release,
Saying.
and
that takes priority.
Not just from their guy Joe winning, but from something that they have felt constricted by over the last few years. These are, of course, the people who are happy to see Joe Biden elected. But that I've never heard in politics. This sense of
celebration ramen.
release,
Yeah, fuck yeah, it is.
On an election
I've had
day
champagne, tequila, ramen, and I'm gonna have a cigar in a little while because motherfucker, the fat lady has sung.
And talk to the people.
All right.
And look at the people and hear
Me
the
and Jeff
people.
Goldblum and
It
Will
is
Smith are having a
extremely
cigar later.
emotional for everyone.
And it's actually happening all around the world.
Exactly
Not just
right.
here in the
yeah,
United
man,
States. I mean, we've
KBBQ.
heard statements from world leaders and
I haven't had Korean
former
barbecue in a
world
minute. You
leaders
keep
who are a
telling
little
me,
less
man. I
constrained
gotta-
about what they say.
I gotta step my
They have
game
to be
up.
less diplomatic, who say that, you know,
Every time I
they're-
get the
they're
chance to just
relieved
shatter my
to see
diet,
the
it's
outcome that we-
ramen.
I hear music, Nora.
That's
'cause
right.
ramen.
The
It's amazing.
program is beginning. Let's listen in as we're about to hear.
Dude, let's abso-fucking-lutely go to Japan. Like, now? Can't go now. As soon as this shit's over, that's one of the first places I want to go. There, we're going there, and my wife and I are going to London. That's happening. I fucking love Japan. And the food there is amazing. Best steak I've ever had. Obviously the best ramen I've ever had. Oh, here we go.
United States of America, Kamala Harris.
Woo-hoo! Oh, yeah, get it. Get it. Fuck yeah. Can you imagine Trump coming out to this song? Amazing. I know, right, dude? Fucking awesome.
Good evening. Good evening.
Trump came out to the Russian national anthem.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening.
Doing the fucking hi dance.
So, thank you. Good evening.
The shot of vodka.
So, Congressman John Lewis, before his passing, wrote, "Democracy is not a state, it is an act." And what he meant was that America's democracy is not guaranteed. It is only as strong as our willingness to fight for it. To guard it and never take it for granted. And protecting our democracy takes struggle, it takes sacrifice, but there is joy in it, and there is progress, because we, the people, have the power to build a better future. And when our very democracy was on the ballot in this election, with the very soul of America at stake, and the world watching, you ushered in a new day for America. To our campaign staff and volunteers, this extraordinary team, thank you for bringing more people than ever before into the democratic process.
And can somebody buy Stacey Abrams a drink?
And for making this victory possible. To
Amazing.
the poll workers and election officials across our country who have worked tirelessly to make sure every vote is counted. Our nation owes you a debt of gratitude.
Absolutely.
You have protected the integrity of our democracy. And to the American people who make up our beautiful country, thank you for turning out in record numbers to make your voices heard.
Let's not forget they turned out in record numbers for Trump too, though.
Times have been
a lot of work to be
challenging,
done.
especially the last several months.
It's still pretty
The
amazing.
grief, sorrow, and pain, the worries and the struggles. But we have also witnessed your courage, your resilience, and the generosity of your spirit. For 4 years, you marched and organized for equality and justice, for our lives and for our planet. And then you voted. And you delivered a clear message. You chose hope and unity, decency, science, and yes, truth.
She is such a politician.
You chose
don't
Joe
dislike
Biden
what she's
as the
saying,
next
that's for
president of the United States of America.
That's right, Jack.
And Joe is a healer, a uniter, a tested and steady hand, a person whose own experience of loss gives him a sense of purpose that will help us as a nation reclaim our own sense of purpose. And a man with a big heart who loves with abandon. It's his love for Jill, who will be an incredible First Lady. It's his love for Hunter and Ashley and his grandchildren and the entire Biden family. And while I first knew Joe as vice president, I really got to know him as the father who loved Bo, my dear friend who we remember here today. And to my husband, Doug, children, Cole and Ella, and my sister Maya, and our whole family. I love y'all more than I can ever express. We are so grateful to Joe and Jill for welcoming our family into theirs on this incredible journey. And to the woman most responsible for my presence here today, my mother, Shamala Gopalan Harris, who is always in our hearts. When she came here from India at the age of 19, she maybe didn't quite imagine this moment, but she believed so deeply in an America where a moment like this is possible. And so I am thinking about her.
Pretty fucking remarkable.
And about the generations
about
of
it.
women, black women, Asian, white, Latina, Native American women, who throughout our nation's history have paved the way for this moment tonight. Women who fought and sacrificed so much for equality and liberty and justice for all, including the black women who are too often overlooked, but
Hear my
so
wife
often
wooing
prove
downstairs.
they are the backbone of our democracy. All the women who have worked to secure and protect the right to vote for over a century, 100 years ago with the 19th Amendment, 55 years ago with the Voting Rights Act, and now in 2020 with a new generation of women in our country who cast their ballots and continued the fight for their fundamental right to vote and be heard.
It's insane to me. It's only been 100 years since we thought women were equal to men as far as their right to vote goes.
Tonight I reflect on their struggle,
It's nuts.
their determination, and the strength of their vision to see what can be unburdened by what has been. And I stand on their shoulders. And what a testament it is to Joe's character that he had the audacity to break one of the most substantial barriers that exists in our country and select a woman as his vice president.
It shouldn't even be a big deal to do that. It's so fucking backwards that it is. Far more women should be in positions
While I may be
of power,
the first woman
especially
in
in
this
here in
office,
this country.
I will not be the last.
It's amazing to see. About fucking time.
Because every little girl watching tonight sees that this is a country of possibilities. And to the children of our country, regardless of your gender, our country has sent you a clear message. Dream with ambition, lead with conviction, and see yourselves in a way that others may not, simply because they've never seen it before. But know that we will applaud you every step of the way. And to the American people, no matter who you voted for, I will strive to be a vice president, like Joe was to President Obama, loyal, honest, and prepared, waking up every day thinking of you and your family. Because now is when the real work begins, the hard work, the necessary work, the good work, the essential work to save lives and beat this epidemic, to rebuild our economy so it works for working people, to root out systemic racism in our
He's wearing a
justice
Wawa
system and
shirt.
society, to combat the climate crisis, to unite our country and heal the soul of our nation. And the road ahead will not be easy, but America is ready, and so are Joe and I.
Isn't this refreshing? Isn't it just refreshing, like it's a nice
We
palate
have
cleanser
elected
from
a
the last
president
4 or 5
who
years of
represents
poor shit?
the best in us. a leader the world will respect and our children will look up to. A commander-in-chief who will respect our troops and keep our country safe. And a president for all Americans.
Look at this. Positivity again.
And it is now
Damn, I missed
my
that.
great honor to introduce the President-elect of the United States of America, Joe
Don't gaff during the speech. Don't gaff during the speech. Oh, there he is. Look at this motherfucker sauntering out. Okay, Joe. Closest we ever saw fucking Trump do that was down a ramp. Very slowly. This motherfucker, okay. Gotta get the cardio in. Is that Bruce? Okay. Uh-oh. There we go. His energy froze the stream.
Hello, my fellow Americans, and the people who brought me the dance, Delawareans. I see my buddy Senator Tom Carper down there, and I think Senator Coons is there, and I think the governor's around. Is that Ruth Ann? And that former Governor Ruth Ann Minner. And most importantly, my sisters-in-law and my sister Valerie. Anyway.
Did a little jog, and now he's showing off his eyesight.
The people of this nation have spoken. They've delivered us a clear victory.
I'd say his vision is 2020.
Victory. A victory.
Sorry.
For we the people. We've won with the most votes ever cast on a presidential ticket in the history of the nation. 74 million.
That's incredible.
What I must admit has surprised me. Tonight, we're seeing all over this nation, all cities and all parts of the country, indeed across the world, an outpouring of joy, of hope, renewed faith in tomorrow, bring a better day. And I'm humbled by the trust and confidence you've placed in me. I pledge to be a president who seeks not to divide, but unify. Who doesn't see red states and blue states, only sees the United States. And work with all my heart, with the confidence of the whole people, to win the confidence of all of you. And for that is what America, I believe, is about. It's about people. And that's what our administration will be all about. I sought this office to restore the soul of America, to rebuild the backbone of this nation, the middle class, and to make America respected around the world again.
No, I see what you did there, Joe.
And to unite us here at home. It's the honor of my lifetime that so many millions of Americans have voted for that vision. And now, the work of making that vision is real. It's a task, the task of our time. Folks, as I said many times before, I'm Jill's husband. And I would not be here without her love and tireless support of Jill and my son Hunter and Ashley, my daughter, and all our grandchildren and their spouses and all our family. They're my heart. Jill's a mom, a military mom, an educator. She has dedicated her life to education. But teaching isn't just what she does, it's who she is.
Tell me she's not balling right now.
This is a great day for you all. You're going to have one of your own in the White House. And Jill's going to make a great first lady. I'm so proud of her. And I'll have the honor of serving with the fantastic vice president you just heard from, Kamala Harris, who makes history as the first woman, first black woman, the first woman from South Asian descent, the first daughter of an immigrant ever elected in this country. Don't tell me it's not possible in the United States. It's long overdue. And we're reminded tonight of those who fought so hard for so many years to make this happen. But once again, America's bent the arc of the moral universe more toward justice. Kamala, Doug, like it or not, your family. You become an honorary Biden, there's no way out. All those of you who volunteered and worked the polls in the middle of this pandemic, local elected officials, you deserve a special thanks from the entire nation. And to my campaign team and all the volunteers, and all who gave so much of themselves
the unsung
to
heroes.
make this moment possible, I owe you. I owe you. I owe you everything. And all those who supported us, I'm proud of the campaign we built and ran. I'm proud of the coalition we put together, the broadest and most diverse coalition in history. Democrats, Republicans, independents, progressives, moderates, conservatives, young, old, urban, suburban, rural, gay, straight, transgender, white, Latino, Asian, Native American. I mean it, especially for those moments, and especially for those moments where this campaign was at its lowest ebb. The African-American community stood up again for me.
It sure fucking did, man.
And I'll have yours.
You better, motherfucker.
I said at the outset, I wanted to represent this campaign to represent and look like America. We've done that. Now that's what I want the administration to look like and act like. For all those of you who voted for President Trump, I understand the disappointment tonight. I've lost a couple times myself. But now, let's give each other a chance. It's time to put away the harsh rhetoric, lower the temperature, see each other again, listen to each other again. And to make progress, we have to stop treating our opponents as our enemies. They are not our enemies. They are Americans. They're Americans. The Bible tells us to everything there is a season, a time to build, a time to reap and a time to sow, and a time to heal. This is the time to heal in America. Now this campaign is over. What is the will of the people? What is our mandate? I believe it's this. Americans have called upon us to marshal the forces of decency, the forces of fairness, to marshal the forces of science, and the forces of hope in the great battles of our time. The battle to control the virus, the battle to build prosperity, the battle to secure your family's health care, the battle to achieve racial justice and root out systemic racism in this country.
Okay.
And the battle to save our planet by getting climate under control. The battle to restore decency, defend democracy, and give everybody in this country a fair shot. That's all they're asking for, a fair shot. Folks, our work begins with getting COVID under control. We cannot repair the economy, restore our vitality, or relish life's most precious moments, hugging our grandchildren, our children, our birthdays, weddings, graduations, all the moments that matter most to us until we get it under control. On Monday, I will name a group of leading scientists and experts as transition advisors to help take the Biden-Harris COVID plan and convert it into an action blueprint that will start on January the 20th, 2021.
I mean, it won't be your son-in-law, along with peace in the Middle East?
It will be constructed out of compassion, empathy, and concern. I will spare no effort, none, or any commitment to turn around this pandemic. Folks, I'm a proud Democrat, but I will govern as an American president. I'll work as hard for those who didn't vote for me as those who did. Let this grim era of demonization in America begin to end here and now.
That I can get behind.
The refusal of Democrats and Republicans to cooperate with one another, it's not some mysterious force beyond our control. It's a decision, a choice we make. And if we can decide not to cooperate, then we can decide to cooperate. And I believe that this is part of the mandate given to us from the American people. They want us to cooperate in their interest. And that's the choice I'll make. And I'll call on Congress, Democrats and Republicans alike, to make that choice with me. The American story is about slow yet steadily widening the opportunities in America. And make no mistake, too many dreams have been deferred for too long. We must make the promise of the country real for everybody, no matter their race, their ethnicity, their faith, their identity, or their disability. Folks, America has always been shaped by inflection points, by moments in time where we've made hard decisions about who we are and what we want to be. Lincoln in 1860, coming to save the Union. FDR in 1932, promising a beleaguered country a new deal. JFK in 1960, pledging a new frontier. And 12 years ago, when Barack Obama made history, he told us, yes, we can.
Just had to bring up Obama again, didn't you?
Folks, we stand at an inflection point. We have an opportunity to defeat despair, to build a nation of prosperity and purpose. We can do it. I know we can. I've long talked about the battle for the soul of America. We must restore the soul of America. Our nation is shaped by the constant battle between our better angels and our darkest impulses. And what presidents say in this battle matters. It's time for our better angels to prevail. Tonight, the whole world is watching America. And I believe at our best, America is a beacon for the globe. We will lead not only by the example of our power, but by the power of our example. I've always believed, many of you heard me say it, I've always believed we can define America in one word: possibilities. That, in America, everyone should be given an opportunity to go as far as their dreams and God-given ability will take them. You see, I believe in the possibilities of this country. We're always looking ahead to an America that's freer and more just, ahead to an America that creates jobs with dignity and respect, ahead of America that cures diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's, ahead to an America that never leaves anyone behind, ahead of America that never gives up, never gives in. This is a great nation. It's always been a bad bet to bet against America. We're a good people. This is the United States of America. And there's never been anything we've been not able to do when we've done it together. Folks, In the last stage of the campaign, I began thinking about a hymn that means a lot to me and my family, particularly my deceased son, Bo.
Don't you start singing.
Captures the faith that sustains me and which I believe sustains America. And I hope it can provide some comfort and solace to 230,000 Americans who've lost a loved one to this terrible virus this year. My heart goes out to each and every one of you. Hopefully this hymn gives you solace as well. And it goes like this. And he will raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn, and make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of his hand. And now together, on eagle's wings, we embark on the work that God and history have called upon us to do, with full hearts and steady hands, with faith in America and in each other, with love of country, a thirst for justice. Let us be the nation that we know we can be, a nation united, a nation strengthened, a nation healed. The United States of America, ladies and gentlemen, there's never been anything we've tried we've not been able to do. So remember, as our grandpa used to say when I walked out of his home when I was a kid up in Scranton, he said, "Joey, keep the faith." And our grandmother, when she was alive, she yelled, "No, Joey, spread it. Spread the faith. God love you all. May God bless America, and may God protect our troops." Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Not bad, Biden. Not bad. Not bad at all. See, even the, the super unifying message and reaching out to the other side. And I'm hey, better man than I've been about this shit lately. Everyone, so much vitriol and so much bullshit. But like I said at the top of the show, I have friends and family who are staunch Trump supporters, and I still love them. We're still cool. Everything's fine, when it comes to, as long as we're not talking about politics. So I think he's right. I think there's a way around the bullshit that has kind of taken over the conversation for the last, what feels like an eternity, but 5-6 years. So, it was like Mike said here. It's a good thing he didn't bring up Trump. It's not about him. It is about a new beginning. Yeah, I agree. This is about trying to set things back to a path of decency. I'm not saying that Biden is the answer to all of our problems, not by a fucking long shot. I'm not a centrist. I'm not even a moderate. I think we need. I don't even think the things that I advocate for are wild or out there. I think most people have support, for a lot of these things. But he's mentioning a lot of them. So let's see what they actually fucking do. But we need to make sure that we hold the House, which it looks like we did or we're going to. And we need to win these 2 fucking runoff elections that look like they're going to in Georgia for the 2 Senate seats, so that Kamala can be the tiebreaker in the Senate. In the Senate's decision in voting. So, yeah, that's where we're at. But that was pretty good, man. That was pretty good. It's nice to see. It's been a good fucking day. Thank you guys for jumping in. I didn't plan on staying long. Just wanted to watch this with some of y'all. I feel good. I genuinely feel good. I hope you do too. I know that if you were a Trump supporter, you clearly don't. And I don't think that this is over. And we sure as shit haven't heard the last of the situation. The most loud, obnoxious motherfucker in the country is not going to suddenly stay quiet. And he's got a lot of, we'll say, excited supporters that are out there ready to, according to one guy today, start a civil war. So that's where we're at with some people. But I'm hoping, and I like to believe that that's not the majority of Trump supporters. I don't even think it's the plurality. I think it's a minority, but that's all it takes. So we have to try and do our best to keep things civil and just speak truth to power. That's all. And obviously hold these motherfuckers that just took office or about to take office accountable for what they do, and not become hypocrites the way that the GOP and the Republicans have. So yeah, that's it, guys. That was Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. The new president-elect and vice president-elect. And one more time I got to say, it's fucking incredible that we have a woman of color in office. that's absolutely remarkable. It's insane that it hasn't happened sooner. Next, we got to get a woman running the country, too, because maybe they'll be a little less fucking hard-headed and obnoxious about this shit, like the way that most of these guys are. So, anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sure I'll pop back on here to actually play some video games, to talk about some other shit in the near future. And, of course, tune into Failure Made Monsters on Fridays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with me and my boy Dane Alexander, Dane the Great for short. And our guest this week is Ashley Pagliuso, a.k.a. Vamprophilia, the Queen Vampire herself. So come on in, join us. We'll obviously talk about this at the top of the hour, and then maybe try and talk about something else for a little bit, which would be a nice fucking change of pace. So thank you guys. Love you all. Stay safe out there. Wear a goddamn mask, and